Well, hello. How's it going? So, something interesting happened. I was complaining over the last couple of days to myself about not having enough dreams again, and was discussing it with Emily Moyer too. And generally speaking, there's just been a sharp decline in the number of dreams I can recall over the past year. So it's been a while. But yesterday or last night, I had something extraordinary, a place unlike I've ever seen before, a city. But we wouldn't call this place a city here. It's so indescribably strange. And the amount of detail I saw, and there was a strange message in the dreams left on sticky notes that is concerning, and I'll explain why in a minute. And I have such a vivid memory of that message and of everything in this place. So, how do I describe it? It starts off with me driving. I'm driving what looks like to be on the water, like a bay, like a very shallow bay. It didn't look like an ocean necessarily, but I was like on this very long highway bridge thing. Like, I don't know, for example, something you would see Lake Pontchartrain, New Orleans, or in Florida, like highways over water, or that one bridge tunnel thing in Virginia, for those of you who are familiar. Something like that. But this bridge, it's magnificent. It is stunning. It's bright red. It kind of looks like the Golden Gate Bridge, but it didn't have those tall towers. And I'm driving, and it's like glistening. It's glistening in this amazing color. And then I see off into the horizon these gargantuan structures on the water. They looked like, this is my best description, the biggest parking garage you've ever seen in your life, times 10. I mean, we're talking probably 50 stories high, something like a quarter to half a mile wide, rectangular square structures with these open, sort of like in a parking garage, you would see these open slots, right, in between the floors. They resembled that. However, the difference is that they were marble white, like glistening white and beautiful. And we have this white laundry basket, right? I was like, that's the first thought that came to mind when I woke up in the morning. I saw giant laundry baskets on the water. They look like upside down laundry baskets, but they were these massive structures. Okay, and I'm driving, and so I'm driving into one of them, and there is a flurry of activity. I mean, thousands upon thousands of people walking around everywhere. When I drove up to like the upper floor, so where the sun or whatever is shown through. And on the upper floor, there was like a lot of traffic. There was a lot of people, but it all felt so precise and coordinated. It didn't feel chaotic. It didn't feel like there was tension in the air. It felt like everything was very orderly and organized and very precise in the way they're regular people. They look very human, dressed in very normal clothes. But this place is not our planet, I'll tell you that for sure. I'm convinced that it's a real place. This is a real freaking place, though. And amidst all these people walking around, there's these. So I drove in, and then I try to go into the inner floors or whatever, like you would in a parking garage. And along the sides, where you would normally see it wasn't a parking garage, obviously. There, you would see these shops, these little rectangular shops. They're also painted in these bright colors. and they were very small. They were like these slots, and they were just kind of very equidistant from one another. Some buildings, they're like little structures and they were attached to each other. And there's a huge staircase, and people were walking like in droves, just like countless people up these stairs. And I'm like kind of freaking out. I'm in this car. There's like a bazillion people, and I'm trying to figure out where to go. Like, I know I have to go somewhere, okay, a specific location. So I'm really lost inside this massive structure. And so I park the car. This little tiny, I remember what the car looked like too. It was like a little tiny, almost Volkswagen Beetle like looking thing. It was really ridiculous. And it was blue in color. I remember that too. And so I walk out of the car perplexed, and I'm looking around like in this dizzying confusion, like what the hell? Like a bazillion people everywhere. I don't know where I'm going, so I go to that massive staircase, and I start going down the stairs. And this lady stops me, and she's like, "This staircase is only for going up." So I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "If you want to go down, you got to go to that thing." And she points to that thing. I go to that thing, and it's not a staircase going down. It looks like a fire escape. You know, those poles that firemen go down? But it had these levers attached to it where you have this box-like structure, and you put your arms on this, like kind of like you're doing pull-ups, and you attach yourself to this box, and it's like this little tiny elevator thing that moves you downward. And so I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, I thought to myself, this is the wrong elevator. You know, I'm on the wrong floor. I'm going to keep walking around, look elsewhere. And I just start walking around the structure. And I notice the other structures out on the horizon. And they're all slightly different. They're not all exactly the same. And I look at the bridges that link these structures together. And the bridges are all unique and magnificent in their own way. And it was just a stunning sight to see. This place was, I don't want to call it a high vibrational place. I want to call it a very unique quantum oscillation, a very sort of beautifully harmonically structured presence in this location, where it was this chaotic harmony, this chaos of all these people, but it all fit together so perfectly. And it was just such a strange sight to see such a bizarre city, right? And I've actually seen similar like structures and dreams before that I've shared on here. And it was really interesting. Definitely going to incarnate there sometime in the next billion years, but it's not over. Hold on. It's not over. The message in the, okay, so I go to another fire escape thingy, and I see it was being repaired. It was not working. So there's people repairing this elevator thingy, and there's a bunch of sticky notes all over the wall. And I noticed this Asian looking man to the right of me looking at these sticky notes with this like almost anger in his eyes. So I go up and I read what it says. And it says, "We hate China." Explain to me that one. We hate China, the country. And I'm staring at this for the longest time. And so, based on that, I've come to the conclusion this must be another dimension of Earth. Or perhaps might even be a certain future, a future timeline in which lands have, you know, there was lands that sort of sunk beneath the sea, possibly, and these structures were built on top of shallow waters that were once land. That was a possibility. This place did have a futuristic vibe to it. I can't give an exact time frame of what I would think it would be, but if it's a parallel dimension of Earth, I would probably put this place in the 2070s or something. That's kind of what it felt like. But it could totally be a different planet entirely. I don't know. But the fact that the word China is in there already implies that it's right here. What Earth is it? Is it Ophiuchus Earth? Is it Draco Earth? You know, these different constellations with these different Earths. I don't know. But I woke up astonished that I've seen all these weird places over the years. All these places I want to explore. Just my consciousness yearns to just run out there and explore the universe. I can't wait to get to do that again. One more thing before I go. I'm starting a different job. Well, for the same company next week. Not going to really be able to make videos there. I doubt it. It's a very different place. I'm going there though because it pays a lot more, and with inflation, that's pretty helpful. So I'll have to restructure the way I upload and do live streams. It'll have to be more structured, actually, probably, or we'll see how things go, or maybe I'll take a little break for now. But we'll see how it goes. Have a good day, everyone.